So I know people have these weird, odd conspiracy rumor, yada, yada. But this is just what happened. I was in the library doing research. Actually, it's a really big project. And I'm cutting through it. And it's really interesting. Slightly connected to these topics in terms of cults, movements, so on and so forth. But anyway, and out of nowhere, I got an update that Charlie Kirk, the extreme right-wing radical pro-Trump guy, who was speaking at a college campus, which was, again, tangentially connected to the research I was doing. It was slightly connected. Apparently, Charlie Kirk is dead. At the time, it was just hours ago, it was reported he was shot at, right? So he was shot in the neck. It was not clear if he was dead or not, but apparently more recently it has been confirmed. They did try to tend to him medically, but he is dead. So he was shot hours and hours ago, and I guess died shortly thereafter from a critical injury. He was shot at. This does seem to be a political assassination, although we don't know yet, as far as I know, who the shooter is. They have under custody someone of interest. It's not clear this is the shooter, though. So I'm going mainly with the Twitter reactions, and they are pretty fascinating. So, again, to be fair, some people on the left are being very brutal because Kirk was very pro-Second Amendment, and so he was against gun control. So, obviously, it's a bit of dark irony that he died via a gun, and he's for not controlling guns. And also, there's even a direct statement where he said, listen, it's a brutal trade-off, but yes, I'd rather be okay with some deaths attributable to guns rather than regulate them even more. And there you go. So from the horse's mouth, there we are. So some people on the left are being kind of brutal. But there were some liberals who were like, this is just sad. He's still a husband. He leaves behind his wife, several children. And then, of course, on the right, they're canonizing him as a hero and brave man who stood against the wokos and the trans and those crazy black activists. He's a stern critic of critical race theory. I'm a critic of critical race theory. Some of it's good. A lot of it's pretty stupid. You know, the crits are a little bit all over the place. So a very extreme right-wing radical. Started off fairly young, never completed college. He was that devoted to right-wing activity. He was behind TPUSA, this major organization funded by some rich right-wing maniacs, and quickly grew into this massive, very powerful organization. Was he a force for good or bad? I have to say, on the whole, I think Mr. Charlie Kirk was a force for the evil, but that's just me. The last thing I remember him for, honestly, was him stirring a panic over Mamdani. And again, I am not this diehard whatever, dogmatic leftist. I think Mamdani's a good guy, but I do have some questions about his planned pro-socialist program. But overall, it looks fine. It's very moderate. But not for Charlie Kirk. He thought, like, oh my God, the Muslim communist coming. Oh my God, it's coming. We got to stop it, guys. Come on, give me the money. So there you go. I will do one small fact correct. And again, I'm not trying to kick Nora without necessity. However, her whole thing about, and he was talking to the college students in the public square, extending the dialogue. Oh my God. Guys, calm down. This is all a bit of a scam. And both the left and the right do this, okay? It's been there for a long time. What'll happen is the right-wing Nazi people will go to a very liberal college campus, stir things up for the money. And then, of course, the liberal leftist person will go to the right-wing campus and stir things up. And apparently there were quite a few signatures calling upon the administration to please not host him. It's not him being Socrates or Plato, trying to teach the young in the public square. It just wasn't what it was. It was a manufactured media event. But then it turned very deadly very quickly. So it's a sad event, but you got to state the truth here that this is inevitable if you keep stirring the pot and make it really boiling hot. It's going to explode, stating the obvious. And I'm sure now that this right-wing guy has been killed, obviously some left-wing activist or left-wing speaker, they're going to be under threat now. So it's just going to go back and forth, back and forth. On a final note, and again, it's a very volatile issue, but for the record, yes, Charlie Kirk dehumanized the Palestinians, including the Palestinian children, on a few occasions. So this is not a man of peace or a man against war, violence or mass violence. So Again, a very pro-violent man killed by violence. And there we are. So what will his legacy be? Well, nowadays, a lot of these YouTube right-wing grifters are a dime a dozen. I'd say he stuck out because he was pretty fanatical and devoted. And at least it was more consistent than the other ones. I mean, some of those other people are just outright liars. So I'll give him that. He actually seemed to believe his own propaganda. But again, nothing really special or spectacular. No really noteworthy arguments or books or articles, really. It's just kind of plain old right-wing talking points. But good or bad, this has now become very institutionalized. Again, on left and right, although clearly the right wing is way better at this, just setting up these phony foundations, institutes to, quote, educate the public, but really just shelve out propaganda for the cause. So, but still it's sad that his victims, it's still sad what his family's going through, but again, not a good guy, not a nice guy, very violent man, and one who freely called for violence. So make of it what you will. Was it karma, tragedy, or something else? Don't know. Don't really care. But Charlie Kirk, author, activist, speaker on the right, the radical American right, is dead. Lived a very short amount of time, but really. Born in 1993. Boy, I feel old. I was a young teenager in 93. So there you go. That's when he was born. So a very young, conservative, heroic firebrand to his fans and admirers. But to me, just unfortunately, just another right-wing clone in this very long list of maggot followers and devotees. But good or bad, this is a sign of the times. And no doubt about it, I'm sure there will be some retaliation by the right against the left. It's inevitable. I'm not even saying it's unjustified. Both sides have gotten really, really heated. I am more sympathetic to the left, but we can't deny some of the left has gone pretty crazy too. It is definitely more on the right by far with ICE, these fascist laws, this insane growth in authoritarianism on the right, but still, it's gotten very polarized very quickly. So unfortunately, inevitably, we're probably going to see another shooting soon enough. And there's already been a ton of shootings this year, but this is probably one of the very first of this year that is so clearly, explicitly politicized and political. But it's an ongoing story. We'll have to wait and see who the shooter is, what the motivation was. It could be, which often does happen, maybe it was a right-wing person. This happens a lot, right? This internal purging of radicals, purging themselves. But we'll have to wait and see. But again, just to be fair on all sides, there has been a growth in shootings overall. And some of the latest shootings apparently have been by, quote, transgender people. So there you go. So it's all getting very hot and dangerous out there. So stay safe.